Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.
One. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to one-on-one at Legacy Maker Sports Network.
Hello, everybody. It's your man, Darrell Owens, and we are here for an impromptu one-on-one here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. And today I got, our first three-time guest here on one-on-one. He was on our very number, I think we were on show number 2. Was on show number 2. And then we had last year for a season preview. And now guess what? We're back. That means another season preview underway with Coach Roussell of the Richmond Spiders women basketball team. Coach Roussell, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well, man. Pressure's on. Let's hope we can get to that fourth one coming up too. Always good to visit with you, my friend.
Yeah, always good to visit with you. And I feel pretty confident in the fourth one. I feel very confident in the fourth one down the road here. Oh, man. Well, Coach, like I said, it's great to have you on. Before we get started, we always start off with the check-in. So I want to check in on you and your family, see how you and your family been doing as the pandemic continues to chug along here. And things are getting a little bit better. They're starting to open up a little bit here and there. So we're getting close to some normalcy, but just want to update and see how things have been going.
Busy. I know we still talk pandemic, but youth sports is still going, riding strong in Midlothian, Virginia. I got all 3 kids now. Got a 4-year-old and 7-year-old both playing softball, and the 5th grade boy is baseball and basketball seemingly every night, every weekend. So it's really busy for my wife and I, but as we say all the time, there's nothing else we'd rather be doing. So things are good with the family. Appreciate you asking.
That's what I love to hear. That's what I love to hear. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how it feels like I said, it slowly but surely has crept back up. And we talked beforehand. I'm like, man, we're basketball season already. I felt like it just ended, but that's not a bad thing. This is not a bad thing.
I think we're ready, or at least we're on our way.
Definitely. Well, Coach, talking about that, let's kind of get into the season a little bit. You're entering year number 3 at the helm here at Richmond, and for the first time since we've covered this team, and in 8 years, there will not be a Parson connected to this team. First of all, your thoughts on, trying to make that next leap. It's the end of an era there at Richmond Spider basketball with no Parson being on the team this year. But what are your thoughts of, those young ladies are coming through and, of course, getting ready for a season without a Parson?
Yeah, I mean, it's all I know, right? I mean, obviously, I was only here for 2 of those 8, but what I knew was Alex, and obviously getting to know Michaela. But I always use the word stalwart. She was kind of that calming presence, calming grace for us to have during those first 2 years, and she was incredible. I think she just kind of kept the engine going a little bit at times, kind of helped me understand the program. Whole family was great supporters, great fans. But at the same point, they kind of knew what was going on around here. And that was even going back to Michaela, leaning on her. And she'd pop into practice every now and then, and even lace them up every now and then. So hopefully we can still get both of them to do that from time to time. But both really, really doing well. And I think that's what I'm most proud of. They're both on their way to becoming doctors. And, that's what we're all about here with this program, and what the school's all about, too.
It's a pretty cool deal. Both becoming doctors. I just... it's always a fun thing to see. And I know as a former coach myself, seeing those kids grow up and becoming adults or growing up and taking that next step in life, it's always a fun thing to see. So, yeah, much love to the Parsons. I had to give them a little shout out here. Sure. They've been very gracious here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Now, Coach, getting into the new season, you've got a couple of returning players coming back this season, and you got some new ones. But let's talk a little bit about the players coming back. You got leaders like Claire Holt on this team, Clady Klimkowitz, who just was named to second team All A10 as of this morning. So looking at those ladies that you have returning, first of all, who are you excited about the most? Like, who's been putting in that work this offseason and you're saying, wow, okay, man, if they can take this next step in the leadership, who are you excited about the most?
Who am I excited about the most? It's like asking me which one's my favorite kid, right? I'm going to hear about.
You can say I'm all coach. I ain't gonna be mad.
Yeah, I think the senior class, for me, similar to what we said about Alex. I've only been a part of 2 of their seasons, but they've invested a lot in this program, starting with the seniors. So they've kind of really changed, just kind of having their presence, kind of how they've changed the program and our demands and our standards. So I think you mentioned Claire, you mentioned Kate. I think Kate, had a tremendous season last year. I think her length and athleticism fits our program really well, how we're playing, and I think she's improved on both of those. I always say when your top kids are also the ones that are improving the most, I think you really got something, and she really did. I think Claire's been great, and she went through a tough season last year. Maybe didn't shoot the ball as well as she would have liked, but that stroke looks phenomenal right now. It'll be nice to have Emma Squires back this year. I know she's battled a lot of injuries. I thought she really came along at the end of last season. She's fully healthy now. And we didn't mention Addie. I know she's in that sophomore class. But when you have somebody that already in her first year was the top of the league, top of the nation in blocks, I think that's pretty impressive. And she's I hate to say a different player. That doesn't give her enough credit for what she was last year, but maybe a different level of confidence, and she's just looked fantastic, both from the arc and inside so far.
Well, it's crazy because I kept preaching last year. This is just me, though. I kept preaching last year that, 80, Miss Bugnett should have been Atlantic 10 Player of the Year. I mean, that's just me, though. That's just me.
Yeah.
I love what I saw from her last year. Her presence on the floor definitely gave the team a boost. I love what I saw from her. Another person I'm excited to see this year is Grace Townsend, and see like where she goes. Her speed and athleticism on the floor makes me smile. I love what I see from her. I'm very excited about this team this year, and I will say this, you got a lot of newcomers coming on here. Let's talk about some of the newcomers. Can you give me an insight on the new ladies coming into the Robins Center this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? I mean, you mentioned Grace, and then in our freshman class with Sydney Boone, both of those 2 kids being local kids, and then Angel Burgos, so we go from Alex being kind of a local kid at the point guard spot, and then kind of 3 kids that we have at the point guard spot all being local kids too, which I think is really cool and speaks to the talent that we have in this area, and speaks to how highly we think of the talent here in this area. So I think, Grace will, like you said, just a fun player to watch. With regard to the freshmen, I think Sydney's kind of in that same category too. She had a tremendous amount of success over at Highland Springs, and she's just an ultra talented kid. I mean, she really finds a way to score that makes you raise your eyebrows repeatedly in practice, and obviously as a freshman and coming into our system, some of those things can be difficult, but she's really navigated that very well. And then Kayla Williams, I think is going to give us a presence inside. Maybe we haven't been as, obviously with Elena in there and hopefully get Maya healthy a little bit. But I think Kayla is really able to add around the basket, but also can shoot the ball incredibly well from the arc. And then Katie Hill. I think Katie's somebody who has played at a really, really high level at the high school level in AAU. Her high school team is repeatedly one of the top 10, probably even top 5 programs in the country, and I think that's allowed her to really kind of almost seamlessly transition to the college game. She kind of built a little bit like some of our other kids that have had success, kind of that 6-foot, kind of very versatile wing that can do a lot of different things. And so I think we're really excited about her, really excited about that whole class. And we talked earlier about the seniors, and I think we have a large senior class. Going to be a big part of this, but weirdly, because even though we have a big senior class, I think our youth is very talented and give us a boost as well.
Now, if we look across town, we saw last season. Let's look back a little bit at the tournament last year. You get a win in the tournament. Tough loss to St. Louis. Had an opportunity there at the end, couldn't get it done. But I know you probably saw the progress in this team, after the tournament. And then you see VCU go on, as I believe VCU was a 4 seed, 5 seed in the tournament, and they were able to win the tournament. And we know how competitive the A-10 has been the last couple of years. And do you see, I know they're crosstown rivals, but do you see a VCU win the A-10 and say, wait a minute, we can do this thing?
Well, with all due respect, they might have been picked to win it last year too. So they weren't maybe a traditional 5 seed like a lot of other people are 5 seeds. And obviously being a crosstown, you said the word rival, and I know there is a rivalry there, but I think we have a tremendous amount of respect for their staff. Get along really well with their staff actually, and enjoy hanging out with their staff. So really happy for them, and was really happy for those seniors, and I thought it was kind of a good swan song for them to kind of go off into the sunset and then and get that championship. So happy for them. And then Taya Robinson decides to come back. So I don't know how much that was a swan song. That wasn't exactly the gift that they were supposed to give back. When we saw them win the thing, but I think happy for their success, and they're going to be another really, really strong team this year. But this has to be the best the A-10 has looked, especially with the depth in a long time. Not just Robinson over at VCU, but a lot of kids came back. And our two seniors, had their life kind of planned. We're not going to come back, and there's a lot of seniors last year that were really, really good across the league, and we were kind of looking at that as maybe a boost for us of hey, everybody's with their kids moving on, maybe they come down a notch, and the opposite happened. A lot of kids came back in this league, which is tremendous for the A-10. And ultimately, to be honest with you, I think great for our program. I think that will prepare us well to hopefully, knock on the door of playing in the postseason here at some point in the very, very near future. But like I said, I think the A-10 is getting better and better, and we're excited to be a part of that and hopefully continue our growth as well.
Awesome. Now, Coach, before we get off here, first game is kind of creeping up. I know you're excited about it. Anything that you've been telling the ladies as you get prepped for this first game of the season here in the next week or so?
Well, we definitely are challenging them. I think Charlotte's, picked by a lot of people to win their league and to play in the NCAA tournament. They return a tremendous amount of talent. And then in addition, I think have 3 or 4, Power 5 transfers coming in. So that's going to be one of the most talented teams that we play. You mentioned the build up to a first game. I think we are going to learn a lot about our team. I think we can, if we have success in that game, I think it's going to bode really well for what we are. So I think I love having that test right away at the beginning. I think we've challenged ourselves with the rest of non-conference. We mentioned the strength of the A-10. But I think for us, we got to improve on some things from last year. We turned the ball over too much, and it's weird to say if you take turnovers out of it, our offense was really, really good. But I think it was. You look at a lot of numbers, and as this group gets older and gets more comfortable with our offense, I'd expect those offensive numbers to really escalate. But we got to take care of the basketball, and on the other end, we got to rebound. That was something that we really struggled with. Again, if you look at our defensive numbers, we were up there just with Dayton, being the top of the league with a lot of defensive numbers, except for those second possessions that we gave up on the offensive glass. So we've got to get stronger with that. Our kids know those two things are a focal point for us. And if we do that, I like our chances. And if not,
Dayton, speaking of Dayton, Dayton's always been long, athletic, and just talented all the way around. Looks like you're not saying that you're taking the MO there, but you're tall, athletic all the way around there at Richmond. It's probably a really good strategy going up against a team like Dayton here, as the season goes along. And Coach, the biggest thing for me is, once again, we thank you, for coming on. We also thank you once again for giving us the opportunity to kind of pick your brain a little bit as the season gets ready.
Absolutely, my friend. And anytime, looking forward to that 4th visit, and looking forward to hanging out with you both online and offline here this season.
You already know, man. Look, I'm excited, man. We finally, maybe like 6 feet apart, but at least we'll be a little bit closer this year. What I'm saying?
And you know what? If one of these years that turns into hanging out with the Vikings jersey on one of us, and Packer jersey on the other, Coach. That NFC Championship game happens one of these years, maybe we'll really enjoy that one.
Maybe we make it happen, Coach.
Yeah, I got more confidence in you guys than us this year, but one of these years for sure.
Well, I don't know, man. Just to talk, Minnesota, if they can keep Dalvin Cook healthy, they're a whole different dream. That's the only thing. You cannot keep them healthy.
That's true. Defense getting better, and hopefully somebody goes back to this in January, and maybe they thought we were onto something. Hoping for the best with these two teams. But I appreciate your time, my friend. Take care.
All right, everybody. I'm your man, Darrell Owens. This has been a quick ones one-on-one edition with my man, Aaron Roussell, head coach of the Richmond women's basketball team. Coach, good luck on this season. Can't wait to connect with you as the season goes along.
All right. Take care, Darrell. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All righty. Peace.
All right.
One, 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 one. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth.